Let's go ahead and get started into the associate doctor. Now remember, when we said the associate doctor, what role does it play into the wealth? Well, it plays a major role in wealth and freedom. Major role. Remember, you're limited with your income and what you can do. Leveraging it off through associate doctors. Remember, when you can create more business than you physically can handle, it would be kind of stupid not to have associate doctors to keep running the business instead of going, oh no, let's shut it down. Let's shut it down. Well, once you know patient education and you know my educational sales, you'll know how to get more business than you physically can handle all the time. That's why I had 2 full-time associate doctors, opened 77 offices in 20 states. Getting business is no problem at all when you know our educational sales and patient education, period. You'll get way more business. You go, okay, how much sense does it make to turn that off now? That doesn't make a lot of sense. You should just keep doing it and have somebody else process the business. That's called an associate doctor. And then also you get the freedom. You get a lot of freedom with associate doctors. You get a quality of life. I say it all the time. Once you get associate doctors and they pay for themselves and you make money, which is easy to do in our system. And by the way, I've read a statistic like 67% of associate doctors don't work out. Well, we already know why they don't work out, because they're not following a system. So when you follow the system, you'll see how you significantly increase the odds of it working out tremendously. I can take situations that typically won't work out and I'll make it work because we know how it all comes together. But you get freedom. You get a lifestyle of freedom. You can start working part-time. And I've said all the time, doctors who have associate doctors, I said, once you have an associate doctor that's profitable and make your money, you'll never go back. Would you ever go back to practicing on your own again? Can you see what a nightmare that is now? Now, when you're practicing on your own, you don't know any better because that's all you know. But once you have an associate doctor that's productive and now you work 3 days a week, you'll never go back to that again because the quality of life is unbelievable. That's a tremendous quality of life. And you're not killing your business because you start working 3 days a week, 3.5 days a week, you're killing your business. So your business stays open while you work 3 days a week or part-time or take extended vacations. And then now also when you take a vacation, you're not losing any money. You're not losing thousands and thousands of dollars when you take a vacation with the associate doctor. Your office stays open. That's not the reason to do it though. That's the number one reason a lot of doctors do it is to take time off. And that's the worst reason of all because they typically don't know how to train. And then the doctor comes in and they start paying them and the doctor doesn't produce. And then this doctor gets skittish feet because now too much money is going out for the associate doctor. That's why most associate doctors don't work. That's not our system at all. Not at all. We're going to get our guy productive and we're going to get him productive and cash flow pretty quickly. So here's some of the numbers. 80 patient visits a week, $50 per visit. That's $208,000. If you did 50-50, the associate doctor makes $104,000. How many of you guys coming out of school would have liked to make $104,000 your first, second, or third year out? We'd take that in a minute, wouldn't we? I would. Well, that's what our associate doctors have the potential to in the first year, $100,000. Quickly. $100,000. How much to deposit to buy a $150,000 rental home? Well, what can you do with $100,000? Well, let's say it's taxed at 50%, so it's $52,000. Well, what can I do with that $52,000 with real estate? I can easily buy 3 properties, $17,000 deposit. I've only one time I've paid more than $17,000 for a piece of real estate for the deposit. That's like most time it's like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, something like that. You'll see how when we do that. So what do we keep talking about? Here's what you will always hear from me. Leverage time, leverage money. Leverage time, leverage money. Leverage time, leverage money. That's what wealth's about. It's about leveraging time and money. It is not about working yourself to death. And if you don't learn those strategies, how to leverage time or leverage money, you'll have less than a 1% chance of having net worth of $1 million, and you're going to have to work the rest of your life. You'll have a good life, but you're going to have to work the rest of your life. So we take $52,000 after taxes. We pick up 3 properties, $17,000 deposit. That's $450,000 depending on the property. $150,000. Is it easy for me to pick up $150,000 for $17,000 deposit? Yes. Man, I can do that night and day. But if you don't even know anything about real estate investing, you can put a third down. That's a third. You can just go through a mortgage company and buy real estate and put a third down, or a third or a higher deposit, and still do fine. So what am I trying to show you here? Leverage time, associate doctor, gives you passive income. How much money would you have had to make $100,000 in passive income? How much money would you have had to have made to put in your mutual funds and stocks? $8 million to have that $100,000 passive income. What did it cost us? The associate's doctor's salary for 2 to 3 months, $3,000 for 2 to 3 months, $6,000 to $9,000 to make the same $100,000 a year. And I have freedom on top of it. Am I going to stop there? No. Now I'm going to take, because I shouldn't need that money, right? I shouldn't need any of that money for my lifestyle, my mortgage or car, right? That's disposable income. That's investment money. So what can I do with that? Leverage it up. You leverage it up to real estate. Like I said, if you only bought 3 properties for $150,000, $17,000 down, which is easy, that's $500,000 from one associate doctor seeing 80 visits a week. How many of you guys would like to have an associate doctor that makes you $500,000 a year? I told you. I just told you how it happens. That's exactly how I became a multimillionaire. It was not going in and adjusting patients. It was leveraging my time, knowing how to train associate doctors, how to pick, hire, and train them, and then know how to take that money and go leverage it off into real estate. That's how I became a multimillionaire. Compare that to going in your office and just treating patients every day and that's it. You'll be treating patients every day the rest of your life. You're going to miss you're going to miss your kids growing up. You're going to miss their ball games. You're going to miss a lot of life. That's how the average associate doctor seeing 80 visits a week at a $50 per visit easily creates $500,000 a year. I'll just tell you it's $1 million. Can we easily take $100,000 from an associate doctor and leverage it 10 to 1 into real estate? Yes. Yes, we can. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. One associate doctor, that cost you how much? $6,000 to $9,000. Leverage their time and money into $1 million a year. Did I do that once? No. Did I do it twice? I did it year after year after year after year. That's all I did. Leverage time, leverage money. Leverage time, leverage money. Leverage time, leverage money. Took a lot of vacations. Traveled the world. I had all the material stuff. I remember one time a friend of mine, I bought a limo. Bought a limo for me. Okay? Right? And that's what a friend of mine said. He goes, "What's he doing with a limo?" That limo cost me, in my ratio, because remember, everything I do is based on a ratio, a financial ratio. Not just go and buy stuff. It's based on financial ratios. That limo cost me what it cost him to buy milk. The money he spent on milk, the ratio of that money to his income, that was the ratio of that limo to my income. I had a $100 million business. I wasn't making $80,000 a year. You see, everything is relative. It's all ratios. If you stick with ratios with your purchases, Know the basic ratios. Keep moving everything into tax deductible strategies, appreciating asset strategies with regular deposits. That's how you'll continually create wealth. The more and more you do that, you just gets bigger and bigger, and it starts to snowball. Most people don't have the mentality. The mentality is work my nubs off. That's all there is to it. Pay the highest tax rate by depreciating liabilities, big SUVs with big monthly payments. That's the difference between getting wealthy and going broke.